guys, so in this box we have some British Girder forks. Now I believe they are a little bit messy, as in a bit of a coating of rust, but they're going to be usable. These are not mine, these are Dan's for his Enfield bobber that I'm doing for him. So he's managed to get hold of these and he's sent them direct to me. But I thought this would probably give us an opportunity to look at the differences, how they should be made, and how, I don't know if they're in shot, they shouldn't be made. Well, we already know that, don't we? So we don't need to go down that road too much. But we will have an update on where I am on trying to return them damn things. It's turning into a bit of a fiasco, but we'll get to that bit in a bit. First, let's open these bad boys and see what we've got and what we've got to do. Now, I know the spring's missing on them, but that's not a problem. We can soon get a spring. Let's open the box in a way where it can be put back together if needed. Hopefully not. You know, if they are total shock horror in such a bad state they go back. But I don't think they are. I've seen the pictures of them and they do look savable. I don't know how bad they will look on camera, but we'll see. Oh no. Do you know when you're unwrapping something and it's full to the brim of paper shreddings? Here goes the mess I've just cleaned up. Oh well. Oh my God, there's tons of them. Let's try and do this. Paper shreddings and them damn polystyrene balls. Look at this. Ah! Nightmare. Are we sweeping them up for 6 months? Oh no, I should have got a bag up here, shouldn't I? Have I got a bag? There's a bag over there. Hold on 1 minute. Well, the pack, well, hold on. That's a nipple. What have you been shredding? Ew, I want to put my gloves on. Yeah, they're a little bit rusty, but as long as it's not seriously bit into everything to cause structural problems, which it hasn't. It hasn't. Sorry, I'm taking my time. I'm just trying to keep all this stuff in the box. Come on, get out. No, sorry Blue, no dog biscuits in here. No dog biscuits, mate. I've got one up here for you though. Come on. What are you jumping for? Oh, okay, let's move that. You weirdo. Come on. I'm not going to poison you, trust me. See you later. Right. Oh God, that stuff's everywhere. Although they have a bit of a rusty coating on them, ready. They look worlds apart. And just a quick glance, they look straight. I can imagine they, on camera there, they probably look worse than what they are. But we will clean a few bits up. If there's anything jammed up, which I probably imagine they will be a bit, we'll release them. Don't drop all the original stuff off them. So I'm wondering if we're going to find a maker's mark on these at all, which would be interesting. I can see marks there. Let's get a bit of something, see if we can unearth any maker's mark. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? It's straight away. They're, like I say, they're worlds apart. I think we'll try and get that dog bone bracket off. Let's get on the wire wheel. I can't make that out. Are my glasses in here? I don't think they are. I'll have to go and get my glasses. Old and blind and all that. But these are going to look nice, actually, cleaned up. These are going to look proper nice. We'll have a scoot round them with the camera. It looks like possibly the headlight brackets. No, they're not headlight brackets. They're at the back. It looks like some bits have broke off, and I'm not quite sure what. Nothing that's going to affect the operation of the forks. They may be, so they're at the back, so they may be bump stops to the frame. No big issue at all, because we can sort all that out. I could actually sort of carefully dress them up, and we can drill tap and put our own in there. That's not a problem. That's what I think they are. So I think these have just been in some damp old garage for probably 50 years or something like that. I bet they've jammed up. Oh no, they're moving. Awesome. Oh, that's a good start. They're moving. So we've actually got a nice little sort of lever there, which will set the tension on them. You know, to slow the spring down. So the rebound, if you want to put it that way. As parts on these ones are cast on the terrible set, it looks like The parts on these ones are forged, which is a lot better. All that runs parallel. Not like this. No, they look like they are going to be fine. Let's get a spanner and start giving them a bit of a clean up. I am going to give them a gentle clean up. I'll probably get them blasted, but I want to see any stampings on them. Yeah, still covered in grease. Brilliant. That is good. So, update on the other forks. So the following morning after I'd done the video, so I've done that video, it's quite late when I've done that, I messaged him. Well, I clicked the return option on eBay. More or less, well, within minutes, he messaged me straight back, asking me what the problem was and how come I want to return them, because I'd seen the pictures of them. And pictures can hold a lot of sins, as we know. So then I hit him with a list. Being polite, straight to the point, but not rude. I voiced my concerns, saying, you know, worst scenario, these products are going to kill somebody. They are that bad. And I gave him the list of everything that was bad. The threads don't match. I can actually make threads skip. All sorts. You know, these things could actually drop to pieces. The quality of the castings was absolutely awful. They're completely misaligned. Each side doesn't match like these ones do. Lovely. And it took him over 24 hours to reply to that one. I don't know if he had to go off and speak to a business partner or whatever, or somebody, I don't know. But it was funny how he was so quick, then just went quiet after that message. And anyway, he eventually got back to me. And what did he say? I should have printed it off, shouldn't I? He was going on about how they're handmade and they're not done in a jig. Wow. It was like this handmade bit was so critical, and it was like a good point to make, that they're not done in a jig. No, that's not a good point to make. Not a good point to make at all. Well, he called it a die. They're not done in a die. That's not good. And that's basically all he could tell me. They're not done in a die. They're hand built in India. The company's been doing them for 30 years, and he's sold so many sets and never had one returned. First for everything. Maybe he has had them returned, maybe he hasn't. We will never find that bit out. But you know, he's getting these returned. And so he then went on to say, "You're right, Blue. Yeah, checking them out." He then went on to say that he wanted them returned into a UK address. Well, okay, fine. You need to do the returns label through eBay. So it's all the processes from now on is all done through eBay. And he's got a bit itchy about that. And then I had this other guy from the UK message me with his address and everything, stating that this guy's is one of his good friends, and you can return them to me here in the UK. So I replied to that message, no, I'm not returning them to you. I need a proper returns label raised through eBay. So I have no chance of losing my money. I said, it's a lot of money. I don't wish to lose it through not taking the appropriate route to get the refund. So we're sort of at that point at the moment, waiting for the seller to, hello mate, to raise the proper return label. And they're not going anywhere till we get that return label. And if he's still sort of umming and ahhing with us and messing us about, on the 29th of this month, eBay step in. They always give you a certain amount of time to try and sort the issues out between buyer and seller, which is fair enough, which is what I'm trying to do. So on the 29th, eBay are going to step in anyway and give me my refund, hopefully. I don't think he wants the cost of sending them back to India. I get that, but if he's not going to sort of generate a proper returns label for this guy in the UK, they're not going anywhere. He will have to have them back to India and he'll have to cover the cost. So, but the worst part about that, I think I know what's going to happen. So he's going to, if they do go to the UK address, if the proper label's generated, I think I know what's going to happen. His next order from the UK, these are going to get sent. That bothers me. And what do you do? I've got to try and get my money back. They weren't cheap. It's a lesson learnt, and it's given me the opportunity to share the problem with you guys and hopefully put everybody off from getting these things. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I have had stuff out of India before. This is not in any way, shape or form a sort of a stab at the people. Please understand that it's not. I do not wish to try and harm somebody's business and way of making a living. What I'm trying to do is save someone's life on a motorcycle, if that makes sense. I really don't want to harm anybody at all, but these are dangerous, simple as that. They're dangerous. And also he said that it's one company in India that's making all these forks that are seen all over the internet. It's one company making them. So really they need to up their game. It can be done. There is skilled people in India. Most certainly is. I've had stuff from there before, which actually you unwrap it and it's like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. I had a Triumph tank from India many years ago, and it was perfect. In every way, it was perfect. And people who've seen that Triumph bobber I made, it was before we started doing YouTube, that was the tank I had from India. And it was spot on, beautifully, beautifully made, I've got to say. It's the same with everywhere. You get rubbish stuff churned out in any country, and you get good stuff churned out in any country. It's one of them. It's, you know, it's certainly not a slur at Indian people like someone thought on the last video. It's not, no way. But so that's where we are with that. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you another few bits that have come from India as well. So I'm sort of not poo-pooing anything that comes out of there. I'm not, because like I say, good stuff does come from there. Yes, it can be a gamble, but when you start finding out where the good stuff's coming from, you can continue using them people. Easy. So I had an headlight. It was a UK supplier, this one, but it's Indian made. So on my bike and Dan's bike, we want to use the big 8-inch headlight. He's going for the Lucas copy. I've gone for the Miller because I wanted to put my Miller ammeter in there. I'd tell you what, There's certain things you expect. Chrome is not always brilliant. That's fine, because I didn't want a chrome headlight, I wanted it black, but they didn't do these in black, so I've bought a chrome one, knowing I can do it black, if you get that. So that, yeah, this is Indian made. It's a Miller copy with a frosted glass, which is what I wanted. Obviously we're going to try and get these with a bit of a vintage theme between mine. Dan's bike being a bit of a military vintage and mine being more of a civilian looking vintage. So yeah, this is not too bad. I've had a mess about with it. I changed the spring clips on the inside because they were a bit strong and shoving the glass right over, and I couldn't control it. So I've put different spring clips on the glass on the inside, which I've got some of, no biggie, they're pence. The chrome, it's passable, although this is not staying chrome. Don't get me wrong, you wouldn't want to go and put it on a 20,000-30,000 pound rebuild, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's got a couple of issues around the brackets. Let's have a look. But give it a clean on my top. This shoe look, it's certainly not horrific at all. It's just a bit here around these brackets where it's not good, and you know that will be a rusting point, to be fair, but like I say, I don't mind with this because I'm painting it, and the glass sits a tiny bit out the rim, but I know exactly what that is. It was a bit worse than that, but I've made it better. I don't know if you're picking that up. That is an easy fix. Chrome's a bit rough around the rim here where it hasn't took properly, but like I say, I didn't mind that because I knew before I even bought it I was going to paint it all black. And so it's got the Miller badge on there, so my little Miller ammeter will be going in and the light switch there, and obviously I'll make some nice brackets or whatever forks I end up with over there. So yeah, if you're prepared to mess about with some things, some of the stuff ain't bad, and like I say, I've had some of the stuff that's absolutely brilliant. It ain't bad. This ain't bad, you know what I mean? Like I say, don't expect to get some of it straight out of the box and bolt it on if you're really fussy. But if you're prepared to have a mess about with some of the stuff, and it's fine, because to be honest, we're struggling like mad to find stuff made here anymore. And you'll find if people are replicating stuff here, the price is phenomenal. And some builds just can't carry that price. So, you know, you've sort of got to make do on some sort of things and make them right yourself. So that, to me, that's a pass. That's a pass. A couple of little bits I want to sort out, but that's a pass to me. I'm happy with that. I really am. I'm yet to see what Dan's looks like when he comes. Like I say, his is a Lucas copy, and we'll have a look at that as well when it comes. Now also, what else have I had? Let's put this down there a minute. You haven't forgot my beautiful lawn, have you? Love that thing. Right, what else we had, Blue? Where are they gone then? I've put things up out your way so you don't chew them. So footrest rubbers. These are the early type Royal Enfield rubbers apparently. Really well done. Everything's crisp on them. You can see all the lettering nice and clear. So no complaints there. Very well made. Right, tank pad rubbers. Again, absolutely fantastic. Look at them. Absolutely brilliant. all nice and clear. All the pattern on there is nice and clear. Lettering's all sharp and clear. It's not all over the place. So certainly can't grumble at them either. It's getting a bit dark in here, isn't it? Hold on. Let's see what that's like with the light on. There we go. Yeah, no problems with them. So that, you know, that there is a lot of stuff coming out of India. Let's show you the miller and meter. Obviously, we'll know more when the power's going through it. It looks the part. I know it's looking the part's different to if it works properly or not, but we'll soon find that out. That's more than good enough to put on the builds. So normally I'll make my own seats on these bobbers. As you know, I do all the seat pan so it's in the perimeters of the frame, make it a really nice shape, because to me, a custom bobber, the lines of it can be destroyed with the wrong shaped seat. If you've got lovely lines on your bike and then you've got this seat just flat, sticking out, that's only my opinion. I don't like it. I think the seat needs shape, and then it helps with the lines of the bike. So for this one, I thought, you know, I'm going to take the plunge, as this is, I'm planning on keeping this bike. I thought I'd buy a seat, because it actually is a big chunk of time making the seat pan, or the mounting points for the springs and the pivoting point at the front. And then you're off to the upholsterer to get it covered. It's a lot of money to get it, like sort of the sponge on and the leather. That's normally 40-50 quid, and it's your time doing it and your time going there to get it done and your time going back to pick it all up. These are online, 70 quid. Again, really surprised by how good they are. I think they are made in India. I can't 100% say. Like I say, they've come from a supplier that gets a lot of their parts from there. But it's real leather. Not too keen on the white stitching, but I can dye that out. That ain't a problem. I knew that before I made the purchase. It's got a nice shape to it. As you can see, it's got that thing going on that I like. They just add to the style of the bike. And it's not bad at all. I couldn't do one for that money. 70 quid. I could not spend all that time doing the seat pan, getting it powder coated. Again, that's another thing. You've up to the powder coaters to drop it off and up again to pick it back up. Then you've off to the upholsterers, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean. So there's no way, if I added all my time up on my seats, I could do one for 70 quid. Not a chance. That's how much that was. In fact, I think I got a little bit of discount on this, because I bought quite a few bits and bobs from this company. So let's have a close look at that. Again, stitching's not bad, although the white is not really my thing. I will be sort of dyeing that out, but the shape's spot on. The underneath, steel seat pan with your pressed in strengthening ribs. All this has got good heavy rivets fixing it on. They seem to be okay. All the fitting round here is not too bad at all. I have seen some seats come from certain places where these fixing points have snapped off because they're not welded properly, but we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be fine, but quality wise, what do you think? I don't think that's bad at all. And I've sort of held it up to one of the Enfields, the orange bobber, and it looks fine. The shape is fine. And when I've got one mounted properly, if it ticks all the boxes in my mind, I will definitely use a few of these. One, it cuts down on a lot of time. Well, that's the main one really. The time it cuts down on. And I already spend it's between 40 and 50 quid on getting them covered, because I like them done nicely in leather. So for an extra 20 quid, you got the whole seat ready to go. It's a no-brainer really. And for my bike, I'm going to do some sort of fancy seat spring system on there. For those of you who did see the Triumph bobber that I made, I'd done it all on a cantilever system with the springs at the bottom of the frame. I sort of made it all up as I went along. So we'll probably do something like that with the Enfield that I'm doing for myself. Dan's, we got to sort of keep that more traditional, I think. I'll see what he says. But then again, doing all that seat spring system I done on the Triumph took me days and days and days of work. So, sorry Dan, I'll probably keep that one to myself. We'll see. So yeah, that, I believe it came out of India. I believe, like, not 100% sure on that one, but I think it did. But absolutely fine, really is. I could probably message the people actually who I got that from and confirm where it was manufactured, and I'll let you all know on that one. So yeah, I'm not poo-pooing everything that comes out of India. I'm not. When stuff sort of needs a bit of praise, I will give it. Definitely. They're certainly good at doing the rubber stuff. Probably a good place to buy your protection from there. Anyway, back to these forks. Let's take a few bits off. See, there's the difference, you see. These have all the inserts on as them. They're just end plates that go on. These got inserts. That's going to add to the strength, the smoothness of how they operate. And surprisingly, like I say, these look a bit rough on the surface, but it's not bad, I may add. But the insides are still got all the grease on. There we go. But look at that. Nothing's seized in. That is brilliant. Right, let's see if we can carefully feed these off. Without creating any damage. Oh, look at that, easy. Oh, that's a dream. Again, everything's got remnants of grease, which has saved it. So the washers on these ones, I'll have to clean them up. They're a lot sintered. It's like a sintered material. Look, it's got copper or brass in there. Bit like a brake pad, that is. Probably same material. But the ones in them forks were like a solid hard plastic. How you would compress them and get a damping out of them, I do not know. This is more like a brake shoe or brake pad material. Obviously that'll work. So we'll just get a bit of something on these and clean them. That's all usable. Definitely. Oh, that's stunning. How that's coming apart. That's really, really good to know. It's really nice actually, because I was a bit concerned about that, where everything will be seized up and we're just going to have a nightmare with them. But no, they're really good. Let's get a close up of these little washers. see that? It's got like a brass running through them. We'll give them a good wash. But I'd say they are definitely still usable. Definitely. So far so good, Danny boy. I think you've dropped on with these, my lad. You jammy git. Why didn't I buy these? Here where the spring winds on is far, far superior to them other ones. So the spring would wind on there. That's far, far better. Yeah. On them others, there's just this horrible little sort of bracket that came off that the spring just wound and tucked under, and it was about ready to snap as it was, and they hadn't even been used. So definitely with a damn good clean up. Right, let's get my glasses on, get the wire wheel on them. I think I know what I'm seeing. See if this one highlights it a bit better. This one's a bit clearer. I'm trying to clean it enough so you can see. I don't know if you can make that out. We have the stack rifles. BSA. So I wonder if BSA did actually manufacture their own forks, or they had someone else do them and they were just stamped as BSA. I don't know. So I know there's definitely manufacturers back in the day that made a lot of forks just to supply to the motorcycle industry. But these are marked up BSA, which is nice. I know they're going on an Enfield, but well, at least we sort of know what they are. And to be honest, they really, really ain't bad. I know when you see something covered in rust, it is always a gamble. But I think Dan's gamble has definitely paid off with these. What I'm going to do is clean a few more bits up. I am. So I'm going to pop the camera off for a mo, because you don't want to see me sat at the wire wheel with everything, and then we'll pop the camera back on when we're reassembling. See you in a bit. Right, I've more or less gone through everything. I've whipped round them on the wire wheel, the cut brush on the grinder, wire wheel on the drill, got into as many nooks and crannies as possible to see if we've got any damage, cracks or anything going on. Everything, from what I can see with the cleanup I've done, seems to be okay. Obviously, I'm going to get them shot blasted at a later date. I just wanted to check around the forks, see if we had anything drastic going on, just to let Dan know. I guess this is him just finding out now. So, yes, they've got some pitting in places. Some of it's a bit heavy, but nothing that's going to sort of compromise the strength of them. It can be all sorted out, no problem at all. very surprising how good all the bolts are, all the spindles sort of thing. No massive wear on them at all, it's just polished a bit in places, but surprisingly really good, really good. Obviously the main bit we're going to have to look into is this part, because as we've seen, these are for a BSA. So I think this, from looking at the base here, is pressed into there on a taper. So obviously when all this bolts up into the headstock, it keeps it all together anyway. So I think I can break that out of there, and we'll come up with some way to put a modern Enfield one in there. We'll see how that goes. I think I can do it. See, the Enfield ones are just welded in, so even if I end up doing that, it's a way round it, and then we can just get all the appropriate bearing races and all that sort of thing, so it'll go onto the Enfield frame. I think we're going to be okay there. So eventually all this will come out. Like I say, I think that's pressed in there looking at it. So a bit of persuasion, a bit of heat, that will come out and we can get it sorted. But yeah, apart from a bit of pitting, I think they're all right. No, I don't think, I know they're okay. Surprisingly okay. So I think what I'll do now is put them back together for now so we don't lose anything. And we'll actually build the bike with them in this state after modifying all this. And then when the bike's at a stage for powder coating and everything, we will get these done as well. Now the pitting on the legs, that's where the worst parts are. So if we look at this, you can see, you know, as to be expected with its age, it probably looks worse than what it is. It's not bad enough to, like I say, to compromise the strength. So I think they've, like I say, they've probably just been in a damp garage for many years, or lay on the floor, you know. Probably sometimes the garage is flooded or whatever, and it's just they've laid in water. Don't know, it's just a guess. But if these were mine, what I would do there, I wouldn't attempt any sort of welding or anything like that, anything that involves heat to fill all this pitting in. I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't want to risk it, putting any heat through these at all. What I would probably do is dress them up a tiny bit on the surface, probably with DA, or we could do very carefully with the belt sander, but not go too mad. And I would probably have them powder coated. When they're done, go and fetch them, then flat them out again and powder coat them again. You can get away with powder coating something twice. That's about your limit. So the first coat of powder, you know, I'll have a word with Alex, he's quite good. He'll know exactly what I want to do. He'll probably lay on quite heavy. So when that's done, you will still see all the pits. The powder coat is not some sort of miracle cure on all metal surfaces to hide everything. So you'll still see them, but they'll be sort of blended a bit. I say then we'll flat that surface off, not entirely, so all the low points, the powder will stay in them, and then we'll powder over them again. It'll act like sort of a coat of I-build primer. That's the sort of thing it'll do. And I think we'll lose most of that. I've done that before, and you know, things have come out really, really well. It's hidden a lot of things. So I think that'll cure all that without, you know, trying to fill it with weld metal braze or whatever. Like I say, I do not want to put heat through that material. It could cause us all sorts of problems. So I think that's the best way around that. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is put them back together so we don't lose anything, and I'll probably just give it a bit of a coat of oil, and we'll stick them up the corner there till we're ready to build the bike. But yeah, they're all right, surprisingly. They looked a bit rough when we got them out of the box. Yeah, they are a little bit rough, but all the important bits on them, they're absolutely fine. As to be expected, really. They're absolutely fine. And the way they're built is just miles ahead of them things. Miles ahead. Completely different. How all these fit. How all these little inserts go in. They're spot on. They really are. So Dan, the worry's over. I think we're going to get a nice set of forks out of this lot. It's going to create the look you want on the bike. Anyway, let's get them back together. What went where? I can't believe how easy they've come apart, how good all the spindles are, how good the threads are, albeit things are a bit pitted here and there. It is really surprising how good they still are. And they look fantastic. At least all the threads ain't messed up. That is a bonus. I need to make a spindle that goes through this back one, which is no biggie. I'll probably just do one in stainless, but we'll still thread it up correct to the period. There we go. I'm going to give them a wipe over with a bit of oil. Then we'll have a glance over them with the camera. You could actually do, if you wanted this sort of theme on your bike, you could actually do the beeswax trick on these. Ideal candidate for that. Right, talking of beeswax trick, I'll go and get that tubing in a bit. We've had a bit of rain, bit of sun, bit of rain, bit of sun. Bare metal's worst enemy. And we'll see if they're starting to... I ain't looked at it for a while. It's out there on the bench, on the garden bench. We'll see if they're starting to, hopefully, go rusty on the one side and not on the beeswax side. I'll go and get them in a moment. It's a shame he hasn't got the half-width hubs, because they would look cracking. They would look much better in these forks. He's cursing me now. Now I've said that. He knows I'm right though. You know I'm right, Dan. They'd look better with half-width hubs in. And your speedo drive at the back. That is the only thing that's going to upset these forks. Space for the speedo drive. Yeah. Half-width hubs, your speedo drive will be at the back wheel, which I can easily accommodate in the frame. He's going to be looking for half-width hubs now. And the wheels are getting relaced anyway, so we can lace them up with half-width hubs. Makes no difference. Right, let me get that thing from outside that I've waxed. See if it is starting to rust, and hopefully not rust where the wax is. Let's have a quickie look while we're on this sort of thing. Anyone who's new is just starting to watch, if you look back over the videos, you'll see me messing about with beeswax. Basically, it's an old blacksmith trick we used to use to protect metal work that we didn't want to paint, and we wanted it to look aged after forging. So we used to heat the material up and melt beeswax onto it, and the protection was absolutely fantastic. You know, I've still yet to find them bits out, but I've got stuff that I've done over 20 years ago, and it still hasn't gone rusty. And that's, I know some of you have seen it, but that, you know, this is sort of finishes I'm going to have on my build to get everything to look aged. This is beeswaxed. So this has been outside. When did I do that video? A few weeks ago. I know we've had really hot weather for a while, but we have had rain, and it's starting to go, look, but not. Let's turn the light out, see if that makes it better. Does that make it any better? I don't know. You can clearly see beeswax side and bare metal. You can clearly see it, the rusting stop. There you go, it works. I'll continue leaving this outside to the elements all over winter if I have to. And we'll see how it fares up. Obviously I didn't wax the inside, look. That's going well. Yeah, we'll leave it outside and we'll keep an eye on it. We'll take a look at it every few weeks and see how it goes. There we go. So there we go. You can make these. I'll have to try and get these numbers off, and I'll write them all down. It might give us some clues. There's a bit of pitting on this. I don't know if Dan's going to want it leaving. On bits like this we can dress it out. I will be able to dress most of it out. I say on the legs we will not be touching them. I'll say the best way is to just double coat them once, rub it down and coat them again. It depends if you want them powder coated. But considering the age of them, and they've been left in pretty much bare metal, I think they've fared up quite well. When you look at all these bits and the material's pretty damn good. A bit on this one, but nothing bad. You see, there's still remnants of paint on this. So there you go. They did have a good coating of rust on. Oh, that's pretty much gone. And we're definitely left with a set of forks that can be used. Let's put it on its pretty side. There we go. We'll just make a new spindle for here. That's no biggie. Sun's glaring a bit, isn't it? So there we have it. That's a good result if you ask me. I think they're beautiful. I really do. I love them. I wished I'd won them. Never mind. It'll make me even more eager to make my own set. So, yeah, I would put them around 1930. I could be wrong. Anyone watching, please jump in the comments and let me know if you think any different. Any information is always appreciated. But I wonder if they'll be around in them things there. I wonder if they'll be around in 90 years' time. I don't think so. I don't, somehow. But anyway, that'll do for today. Next, I'm plodding away with wiring. I might just catch the last end of that on the orange bite, and then we'll be waiting on the tank and fire up. So we'll do the last part of the wiring on that. I think I'll catch that, getting all the oils in, and putting it on the floor and see what she looks like. Anyway, guys, that'll do. I'm gonna go and put my feet up, I think. Thank you all for watching. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.